Well, it's been a hell of a week, huh? Really serious, there I used it. Serious stories. The Star that has serious scientists talking about alien megastructures. That's a story that you just get once in a talk radio lifetime. It really is. And we can talk about that tonight. You can talk about it. You're welcome to talk about what you think it means. In fact, I'm sure we'll talk about it because it's open lines tonight. Anything you want to talk about is absolutely fair game. I am going to open up a special line. Prepare yourselves. Tonight, a special line for people who possess a superpower. Do you possess a superpower? It could be anything. It could be X-ray vision, my personal choice, or it could be invisibility, or it could be the ability to time jump, or it could be the ability to be invisible. It could be a million different things. And I have the opinion, I really have the opinion that there are people out there with these powers. Now, obviously, they wouldn't advertise it. I mean, if you had X-ray vision, for example, would you advertise that? No. People would recoil. And we were actually discussing at dinner tonight X-ray vision, and my wife observed that it really wouldn't be that cool if you saw everybody as nothing but a bag of bones. And she has a point. In other words, if you look clear through the skin and like X-ray elsewhere, it was only good for the solid stuff like bones, you would see nothing but a bag of bones everywhere, right? So it's got to be sort of specialized X-ray vision, like the government has. Like you have to walk through at the airport. They can actually see you nude, All right, I would like to welcome, before we even begin, a new station, WECK, in Buffalo, New York. Welcome to the program. Buffalo, yay, Buffalo. I have been to Buffalo, and it's a snowy town. If you ever have an opportunity to do this, ladies and gentlemen, do it. Trust me on this. I landed in Vancouver, and I took the Canadian National Railway all the way across to the Canadian side of Buffalo. The Canadian side of Buffalo. Anyway, it was about the coolest trip a human being could make. It went through the Canadian Rockies, and it was absolutely awesome. I mean, a long train trip is fun anyway, but that was awesome. Really awesome. Up through the Rockies. Oh, can't even begin to tell you. A trip of a lifetime. It's worth doing, not because you have to go anywhere, just because it is so cool. Okay, so again, open lines, anything goes, okay? Anything. Doesn't matter. I just want to have fun tonight. We're serious all week long. I have guests, and then Friday night we let loose, and anything goes. Anything you want to talk about is fair game. But I do reserve one special line for superpowers. If you have a superpower, really, and you can describe it to us and make us believe, it is 1 and then area code 575-208-7787. Let me repeat that. Superpower line only. Area code 575-208-7787. And, of course, I do have a first-time caller line, which is area code 775-285-5800. Again, first-time callers to the show, 775-285-5800. Might as well give the whole speech. Our public line is available for all of you, and that is area code 952-225-5278. Let me give that to you again. Anybody can call that for any reason, literally on an open lines night. Dial 1 and then area code 952-225-5278. Now, if you want to sound commanding and good, you can call in on Skype. This is the full full tilt boogie description tonight. If you have a phone, an iPhone or Android or whatever it is you've got, pad, whatever, you download Skype. It's free, right? You go to your store, whatever, and Skype. It's free. And once you get Skype installed, then install us. And you do that by going to Add a Contact. And at that point, you enter, if you're in North America, Canada, America, MITD 51. That's as in midnight in the desert, MITD, just the letters, MITD 51. And then we'll be in your contact list, and you can punch us up and dial us instantly and sound really, really good if you're, on a phone. Don't use speaker phones. That is a big no-no. Also, remember to turn down your device prior to speaking on the air. Once you can hear my voice, or music or whatever, then you'll know you're going to get on. So hang on, don't hang up. And if you can't get through, keep trying. If at first you don't succeed, dial again. Now, the same goes for international callers. Anybody outside the U.S. and Canada can call us at MITD 55. So in Skype, you put in MITD 55. All right, a little bit of news, and that's all there is, a little bit of news. As you know, by my reference to sogginess at the beginning of the program, it's been pretty darn bad in places out west here, up to 6 feet deep. Mud. Can you imagine that mud up and in cars, roiling rivers of mud, going into homes, causing terrible problems, closing I-5. Oh, it's a mess. And they say this year is going to be a real mess, all year long. El Niños are coming, and I guess this is just sort of a little preview. Turkey appears to have shot down a drone that flew into its airspace on Friday. Now, they have every right to shoot the thing down. But nobody admits to owning it. That we say it's not ours. And it didn't really look like one of ours, to be honest. The Russians say, nope, not theirs. I wonder if it could be an Iranian knockoff. Anyway, it's shot down, and it's a mess. From the Anomalist.com, the Browns of Missouri claim their house across the street from one of the oldest cemeteries in the entire state is full of restless spirits, and they've got the creepy evidence to prove it, kind of. They've dug up so many strange artifacts, including medical tools, human bones, that their cellar has become a virtual museum. Not surprisingly, then, we hear their ghostly visitors are not willing to leave. They'd be fun to interview, wouldn't they? And then the Anomalist, for some reason, has a story about somebody who claims they were kidnapped by reptilian aliens and taken to the moon for sex. That's right. Not just once, but repeatedly taken to the moon for sex. And you have to wonder, as they do, why the reptilians could not manage a more efficient way to conduct their nefarious, awful business than to pick somebody up and take them all the way to the moon for sex. I know all the old lines about I love you like the moon, the stars, so forth and so on. And by the way, she is a former U.S. Air Force radar tracker that claims this, raped again and again by the reptilians on the moon, and then brought back to Earth. Got to figure. If you follow me at ArtBell51, that's my Twitter address. If you follow me there, if you don't follow me, why don't you follow me? Because if I put Periscope up later in the show, if I get in a really good mood and I put up Periscope, you will then have the chance to watch the back of my head as I do the talk show. It's excitement you can't beat for a Friday night, let me tell you. ArtBell51. That's me at Twitter. Follow away. I will not jam up your phone with useless stuff. Regarding the chilling message that I played last night, remember that? The coded message? It was chilling, too. I said it came from a SAC frequency, and sure enough, it did. I got this anonymous response today from somebody who obviously knows what it was, and it reads, Dear Art, very nice EAM, or emergency action message you played for us last night. If it had been an actual emergency, we would not have seen the sun today, nor drank coffee above ground. The EAMs are uncommon, but other instances have been recorded that follow the same format as the ones you played. The phone tones at the end, number, sign, and 9 were unique. EAMs best received, upper sideband, 4.724 megahertz, 6.739 megahertz, 8.992 megahertz, and 11.175 megahertz. That's where we got that one, or that's where somebody on Reddit got that one. Boy, it is chilling to listen to, too. I mean, if it was the real thing, all-out nuclear whatever, that's kind of thing that you would hear just exactly like that. So we caught a pretty rare one, actually. All right, so that's kind of the story for tonight. Again, all the phone lines are now full. Everything is going full tilt boogie already. So I have no idea what awaits, but on open line nights, I just try to have fun. So anything you've got that's good, you're going to want to phone in. You've got the numbers, so let's rock. It is cool. I mean, when we're on the air here, it is always midnight somewhere in the nation. It is sweeping across the nation. So every minute we're on the air, it's turning midnight somewhere, perhaps somewhere near you. With that in mind, it's open lines. Anything goes. Let's rock, shall we? How about Lake Charles, Louisiana? Hi.
Hey, Art. This is Michael.
Hey, Michael.
How are you tonight?
I am well.
Well, we had a long week here, and I didn't get to listen a whole lot during the week, but I caught up with you during the day, every day at work.
Oh, so you know about the possible alien megastructures out there?
I know about them.
Okay.
I don't know how much work I got accomplished this week, but got a lot of your show listened to.
All right.
I wanted to tell you, I've been listening to you back since, high school, and I barely made it through high school because I was up all night listening to you till 6 in the morning.
So, in other words, I had virtually or very nearly ruined your entire education.
Very nearly, but now there's something different.
Yes.
Now I'm married.
Really?
And my wife...
I don't want to mess with that.
Well, she's made the comment, I guess I've got another man in the bed with us. So I called Bob Crane and said I needed some help. I got a little pillow speaker.
Pillow speaker.
Yes. And over the course of the weeks now, I catch her leaning over to my pillow, listening to you. So you're gaining another fan.
So I'm actually bringing you closer.
You're bringing us closer. Shanoa is starting to enjoy you.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that. It's good to know that I've done something good this week. So thanks.
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
See you later, buddy. Now, that's a new one. What Bob really should do is he should get that audio. I think he's on his way to China or something. But he should actually get that audio. What a great commercial, right? He bought a pillow speaker. They are great, incidentally. It's bringing them closer together. Corey, hello there on Skype.
Hi, Art. How are you?
I'm fine. You're pretty loud.
Oh, there you go. Is this better?
It is, yes. Thank you.
I remember many years ago you had a pilot that was flying over Area 51 that was live on your show, and all of a sudden the pilot cut out. Do you remember, or did you hear anything about that? What happened to that pilot?
Well, I presume he's dead. I mean, what would you think would happen if you fly an airplane into areas where they kill you just for walking past a sign? You're going to be dead.
But do you remember what call I was talking about?
Yes. Yeah, he was flying an airplane into Area 51. It was very foolish. He was talking about rail guns and stuff like that pointed at him. Sure, I remember.
I'm just curious what happened to him. That's all I had a call about.
Okay, well, deader than the doornails, what I'd say.
All right, you have a good night.
But I don't know, so it's the best I can do. There are some things I cannot know. And what becomes of some people who call and then get disconnected with prejudice, I have no way of knowing. Let's go to the next call. You're on the air. Hi, it's midnight.
Howdy, it's Mark the Amp Shark out of Aurora, Colorado. How you doing, Mr.
You, buddy.
All Night Radio. Hey, congratulations for getting them back on the air. We're so happy to have you here in Denver, KLZ, and Kilowatt Nancy, Yokohama Easy. I dig that, Mr. Art Bell. You are very good, sir. Thanks for that. And the guy who, as long as he keeps you on the other side of the pillow, I'd hate to have you come between him and his wife.
I was feeling the same way. I mean, I had already just about destroyed his education, his marriage life. Well, that's a little much.
Well, let's hope, if nothing else, you're getting him on the right wavelength, and everything will work out just groovy. But anyway, further kudos there on your re-emergence, and you're doing everything just right. I can tell you are the shrewd master of the radio, and you're scooping your competition left and right.
Well, again, tell everybody what station you're listening to, please.
KLZ, Denver, Colorado. It's the second oldest station here in Denver, one of the very oldest in the country.
That's the way to do it. In fact, people listening on stations, I should say this, should promo them when they get on the air. So you've done a good job.
Oh, you're welcome, sir. And, hey, man, I am all over the map, boy. You want to talk about near-death experiences, ghosts, UFOs. I've encountered all kinds of things. I almost wanted to call into your supernatural line, but I don't have any but boy, I'm hooked in weird psychically all over the place. So,
well, then all right, if you're psychically adept, then I want you to reach out and tell me what the strange megastructures are that we're all talking about. And by the way, that story finally hit CNN today. Finally.
Yeah, it's a wonderful time, scary time to be alive, but what a wonderful time that everyone, this mass awakening, and you are so much helping. And that was the reason for my call. Dr. Greer the other night, oh my goodness, Art. You talk about work production dropping and people staying up on that was a massive transmission, sir. That needs to get...
well, while I appreciate all this, you seem to be dodging the megastructure question.
A wonderful thing, sir. And I had to craft my own theology because I am a very basically at the core Christian-type man. But as I awakened over the years with your help, sir, over the decades past, it's easy to see there are bigger powers in that are working here and other alternate powers.
So you're not suggesting that I've ruined your religion?
No, because I had already crafted my alternate religion. I can very much see, though, why they had to keep this under wraps, both, as Dr. Greer said, for reasons that the New World Order cannot stand to have people see they're cashing in profitably by our ignorance, but also they want to manage our ignorance. Boy, once we bust through this thing, and I think we might with it, here's what I'm going to say there, Art, to not dodge your question anymore. I believe that in my hackneyed Denver cowtown theocracy that I had to invent in the meantime, and now it's lining up that all this stuff plays out, is I think they're competing ETs/gods and spiritualities. I think all we have to do is keep it simple. I'm on the positive God love side, and I'm, again, the devil negative side.
All right, well, don't start praying to the megastructures. That's all I ask. Stay centered. Let's go. Let's go to the superpower line. Hello there. You're on the air.
They are. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Do you really, sir, have a superpower?
What is the definition of a superpower? Because
I gave sort of a loose definition. I don't
fly through the sky, and I can't hit the concrete.
What can you do? What can you do?
This goes out to the DM Talk hashtag. I'm the Gestalt.
Well, that's just a shout out, man. Come on. If you don't have a superpower, I'm going to eject you like yesterday's mail.
No, well, okay. Let me tell you something.
That's it. Gone. Who's laughing? Somebody on Skype is laughing. That's you, Brad, laughing, isn't it? Huh?
It was me, Mark.
Mark? That was you laughing? Okay. Mark, where are you?
I'm in Bern, Switzerland.
Well, at least you got a sense of humor. And I take it that when you got on that plane last time, you did not crack any windshields, flatten any tires, stop any engine rotation, right?
No, they actually had a technical problem, and we had to wait for a new plane. So I decided not to take the risk.
That was a little pre-concentration.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Art, did you see the news this week?
Did I see the news this week? Listen, I'm going to have to take a break, but what news?
Playboy magazine has removed all the naked women photos.
I heard that. I did. I heard that.
There's a consequence of that.
Well, in sales, you mean?
No.
Listen.
For the first time in history, men will finally be able to read Playboy while holding the magazine with both hands.
That's right. We're looking for people tonight with superpowers. That's right. Any kind of superpower. I don't really need to define it, do I? If you can push somebody to do something with your mind, that is a superpower. If you can read other minds, that is a superpower. If you can disappear and become invisible at will, that's really a superpower. If you have X-ray vision, I wish to question you in depth. Now, with regard to the Playboy comment, I knew about that, and I must say, I think they're out of their minds. Really, they are. Playboy has always displayed naked women in a very tasteful way. You know, not like the others. Some of that stuff is just gross. But Playboy has, I don't know, it's like, if you'll excuse the expression, fine art. Beautiful women, to me, are part of the beauty of the world, and a very important part of the beauty of the world. And so I think for them to retreat from that is a mistake on many levels. But just on that one level alone, that's my comment. And if we have come to the point in the world where it is politically incorrect to say, then I'm ready to leave the world. Beautiful women are just a part of the world that, and if they're displayed tastefully, not in some wrong way, salacious way. I don't know. A beautiful woman is a thing of beauty. It's part of our world, and I hope it never becomes politically incorrect to either discuss or to observe. And I guess that's all I'm going to say about that. But I do feel strongly about it, and I bet you that Playboy sales take a big dive. I could be wrong. We'll see. But I think it's like some new form of Coca-Cola. Anyway, where was I? In Bern, Switzerland with Mark. Hey, Mark.
Yeah, hi, Art. I had another comment, which is about, you mentioned taking a long ride on a Canadian train.
Oh, yes.
But do you know that by definition, every ride on Amtrak is a long ride? because the train goes so slow.
Yeah. Well, this was the Canadian National Railway, and trust me, the scenery was so beautiful that you didn't care about the speed.
Right. And also, going back last week, I really did take your advice, and I did not summon the aliens on the flight to Birmingham.
Well, while that's a good thing, you still, I think, screwed up, and that accounts for the delay, the mechanical trouble, whatever it was with your plane. You did it subconsciously while you were sitting there.
Thank you, Art. I wish you a great night.
Good night, Mark, and take good care there in Switzerland. Great to hear from you. That's right. If you're out of the country, we're MITD55 on Skype, right? MITD55. Brad on Skype, you're on the air. Hi.
Good evening, Art. It's a pleasure to speak with you again.
And to have you here it is as well.
I wanted to discuss number stations with you.
Oh, yeah. Let's rock.
Let's rock it. At first, a couple of little notes. 2 more frequencies for those that monitor the U.S. Air Force system. That's 15.016 and 13.200. So you can add that to your list.
Okay, got it.
The transmission that you played last night and the other night,
yes,
and that was causing all the uproar, the call signs are usually computer generated. There's a huge list of them, even bigger than Weather Channel's.
Well, let me add this for you, sir. Back in the Cold War days, when the Soviet Union began its collapse, that's when they started using collapse.
I know. I was a communications intercept operator for the Navy at the time.
Yeah, it's just, it's chilling to hear, and those are not all that common, so pretty interesting stuff, actually.
It was pretty interesting.
And if you're ever listening to shortwave and you hear one for real?
Oh, I've heard ones that are almost for real.
Almost?
Let me give you an example. During the run-up to the first Kuwaiti bombings, our first, we're going into Kuwait City and flatten everything to get all the Iraqis out.
That's right.
If you hear those EAMs, you'll hear them, they will give 6 characters, repeat that. That's the message preamble. And then the rest, that is included with the rest of the message when they send the text. If you hear just those 6, and if you hear a lot of them, there is some imminent action coming. Also, if you hear the 6-character preamble and then a long string of characters,
yes,
it can go into the hundreds.
Yes.
I've heard up to 300 and 400 in my monitoring experience, and I've followed this stuff for 30 years.
And
if you hear a bunch of those come across, there is imminent action coming.
Well, it's a pretty freaky hobby. That's all I've got to say. Thank you very much for the call, Brad. It is a freaky hobby. It is just chilling to hear those. And, of course, the right combination of them could mean the missiles are on the way. It could mean the B-52s are leaving the runway at about 11 seconds behind one another. Not something you ever want to hear, frankly. Let's go to the phones and, look, we have a superpower person, perhaps. Hello there. Do you have a superpower?
How's it going, Art? This is Kingslayer, former Dark Matter News writer.
Well, that's all fine and well, but do you have a superpower?
Yes, I believe I do.
All right.
I actually believe that I possess a superhuman ability to write music, and that is probably a little on the fringe of superpowers, but...
Yeah, way on the fringe. So far on the fringe that you're getting booted.
Oh,
thank you. But look here. These lines have meaning. If you don't have a superpower, do not call that number. And you can't sneak your way into it. And that's what he was trying to do. I'm not going to allow it. There are rules. This is one of them. Do not call that number, area code 575-208-7787, unless you have a superpower of some kind. I'm going to give it again. If you have a superpower, and only if you have a superpower, would you call area code 575-208-7787. Anybody else, you better do your talking when you get on the line. First-time callers, area code 775-285-5800. That means if you have never called the show before, you're eligible to call that line once. So make it good. Area code 775-285-5800. Okay, let's go to, Kirkwood something or another. Hello there.
Hello, it's Jeff from Ferguson, Missouri.
Really? It says Kirkwood.
Yes. It's a little strange caller ID thing. I'm actually in Ferguson.
Okay. People can actually put anything on their caller ID they want. Anyway, welcome.
Yeah, can I give a shout-out first to the chat room before my topic?
You may.
I'd like to say hello to everyone in the Sorcery Net IRC Art Bell chat.
I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Yep.
Wow.
Been around as long as you've been, almost as the show has.
Holy moly. Well, welcome indeed, and hello to the group.
All right, wondering if you heard about the situation at the Westlake landfill in Bridgeton, Missouri.
Are you referring to the fire that's making its way toward nuclear junk?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm afraid I have. In fact, I've got a story on it here. Let me see. It's pretty serious stuff. The landfill there has nuclear stuff in it, not good nuclear stuff, Cold War era stuff, nuclear waste. Yeah, and it is now separated from an underground fire by 1,200 feet.
Yeah, and according to the latest estimates, it's about 1,000 feet or 300 meters.
Yeah. If it gets to the nuclear stuff, well...
Yeah, I was wondering if you're going to be doing a show on it anytime soon.
Well, I obviously I knew about it. I've got the story sitting here, so I'm aware of it. But, I don't really want to scare the hell out of people. And I think they're watching it very carefully, and I think the fire is not so much getting closer. It is a gigantic underground fire. But, I mean, you're right, caller. It's a frightening situation. I just, if it starts moving, if it starts getting close, I'll be all over it. I just don't want to scare people.
Yeah, they said this could be speeds times 100.
Yeah, I know.
Well, just wanted to... one thing before I go. I was one of the last callers to your prediction program on Celestial Radio.
Yes.
I made a prediction about zombies. I'm not sure if you remember.
Did it relate to like a TV series?
No, it was supposed to be one of your New Year's prediction shows, one of your last ones.
What was it, actually?
Zombie apocalypse.
No, I meant, what was the specific prediction?
That there would be a zombie apocalypse in 2006, one of your last ones you did on the air.
Well, other than the series, I think it's...
Oh, yeah, I was just wondering if you remembered.
I do. Yes, I do.
All right, well, thank you for taking my call.
All right.
Good to hear you again.
Very welcome. I have no idea why we remember these things, but I remember that, sure. What do you think it would be like if there was actually a zombie apocalypse? If the dead began rising in various forms of decay, as always depicted, some of it really serious decay. We all know what you have to do, right? It has to be a headshot, and it has to be quick. Let's go to Albuquerque, New Mexico on the Special Powers line, and this one better be real.
Hey, Art, this is Steve from Albuquerque, KIVA.
Hey, Steve, how you doing? And
doing
thank
well
you for promoting your affiliate there.
Well, you're most welcome. Hey, the reason for my call, I do have a superpower. I've had it since I was a little boy. And basically, I can hear people up to 500 feet away.
Seriously?
Yeah, and actually, it was kind of a curse when I was little because I had a lot of problems with all these different sounds that came into my brain. And for a while, they thought I was like developmentally hampered or whatever.
I understand. Here's my question. Can I ask a couple?
Oh, sure.
Okay, so we all know that people can't hear normal conversation 500 feet away. So obviously, if you have that power, then it's not just auditory. I don't think. In other words, you don't have much increased hearing. At some point, you've got to be mentally receiving what they're saying as opposed to your ear or ears.
Well, I think I infer what they're saying, but believe it or not, I can actually hear people, and there have been situations where it's worked to my benefit. I'm in sales, and what's so crazy about this is that it took years to basically tune my ear. So what happens is that I didn't have this wall of white noise that was giving me headaches and causing all kinds of mental confusion, and I finally learned how to listen. And I could basically focus on people that were nearby and stuff. But then as I got into sales and I got older, one time I was at this convention, and I was actually listening to some people that were, well, don't say anything, competitors of mine.
Yes.
And they were like 150 feet away, and I kind of learned some things about, well, anyhow. But it's been, so it really is a special power, but it's also a little bit of a special liability, and it's taken a long time to kind of control it. I mean, I wish I could read people's minds, but if you can hear what most of what they're saying at a distance that's a long ways away.
Oh no, you're right.
Then you can start to sort of know what they're saying. As far as like reading their minds, I don't think I can do that, but it's kind of a curse, but also a benefit just to be able to listen and to it's kind of a strange thing. And
okay, when you say that you can hear them 500 feet away. Is that in a normal conversational level of voice?
Yes.
Wow. That in a lot of ways that must be horrible. What happens to you when you're near crowds?
Well, what you finally have to learn to do is that you keep practicing at it, and you can kind of focus on the conversations that are nearby, and actually. What most people don't know is that they're doing that anyhow. If most people, if a person walks in a mall, for example, they're actually hearing thousands of different sounds.
It's true.
And what the brain does is that the brain
filters,
learns how to filter just the stuff that it thinks is relevant, like in a shopping mall,
gotcha.
Or the person you're listening to, and that's how it works. So in a way, the only difference between me and other people is it took my brain longer to figure out how to do that. And then once I figured out how to do it, I was able to kind of switch it back where I could kind of undo it in some situations. But it's been kind of a curse, good thing most of my life, but as I've gotten older, it's actually not quite as strong as it used to be, maybe just because my hearing's not so good as you get older, but still, that's the way it is.
No, that is, okay, definitely qualifies, thank you, as a superpower. Can you imagine that? Able to hear normal conversation 500 feet away. And as he points out, it would be a blessing and definitely a curse. You would hear far more than you want to hear. But as he also pointed out, the brain can be sort of adjusted to filter that. Let's go to our first-time caller line, way back to the East Coast, I think. Hello.
Hey, Art. This is Ben in Pennsylvania.
How you doing?
Really well. It's good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you.
Are you familiar with the term technology singularity?
Technology singularity?
Yep.
Well, I'm certainly familiar with singularity. Technological singularity, not so much.
So the idea is that at some point our technology is going to get to the level that it will be able to go back and improve itself.
Well, I think there's a distinct possibility, sir, that eventually we will become a machine. In other words, this planet will be taken over by machines.
Right.
And that would kind of be a singularity for them.
Yeah, that's what some people fear. Anyway, I was thinking it would be great to have somebody come on and talk about that at some point.
You mean literally that we all, well, okay. Thank you very much for the call, and I'll consider it. How might that occur? How might our society devolve, or, depending on your point of view, I guess, evolve into a technological singularity? For all I know, we're not all that far away from it right now. The smartest person I know is Google, and I use her all the time. You notice I give it the feminine reference. Google is awesome. What is there that you can ask Google that she cannot answer? Nothing. She knows it all. Virtually knows it all. I think it's cool. I love Google. The superpower line is area code 575-208-7787. First-time callers only at area code 775-285-5800. And, well, all right, let's go to the first-time caller line. I like first-time callers. You're on the air.
Hey, is this me?
It is you.
All right, I've been listening to you since like 1997. I love you.
Thank you.
This is my superpower. I can read minds. Check this out. Pick a number between 1 and 10.
Got it?
What is it?
I'm not going to tell you. You tell me.
No, it's a trick. Yeah, no, it's part. It's not a trick. It's part of the thing. It's just the first part of the trick. What is it?
7.
Ah, see, I knew that's what it was. Yeah, I'm gonna do it again. All right, pick another one. You ready?
I'm not going for something this lame twice.
It's 4. It's 4. You thought of 4. No,
okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's it? You hung up. Very pathetic, especially for a first-time caller. Pathetic. Let's see. Let's go to superpower line. You're on the air. Hello.
Is it me?
That's you. And the only reason you could be calling this line is because you possess a superpower.
Yes, I do possess a superpower.
And that is?
I consider it that they're aliens, and I can see them, but they're in a human form. And I haven't always been able to do this. I'm 50 years old, and approximately 2 years ago, I got into an accident. I was rear-ended on a freeway, and it was a pretty bad accident. And then after that, I was doing rehabilitation, and ultimately I had to change my diet. I mean, there's a lot of things going on, and, changes in me physically and mentally. And at first I thought the first time it happened, which was I seen somebody, I was in a Starbucks, and from across the store, like they were on the other end of the store, and we made eye contact, and they kept staring at me, and I just knew, at first I just thought it was I got a sense that it was a bad person, I'm not going to say, it was an evil person or something like that, but I got a sense that it was somebody that was bad. And, but I let it, it wasn't like, it was just a feeling, it happened. And
okay, how have you concluded that what you're seeing are aliens?
Well, that was the first time that I,
Yes, I understand. First alien, right. Mm-hmm.
So, since then, it's become more, I don't know how to say it. It's like...
frequent?
It's real obvious. It's obvious now.
I see.
Like when I see somebody, and there's different...
Okay, all right. Let me stop you and ask, how do you know they're aliens?
Again, it's like, it's just like seeing them. I could tell you, hey, they don't look human, but I can't say, oh, they're gray. It's like there's like a connection that it becomes a feeling, like a sensation of communicating with me, saying, and a lot of times it's not like the communication is going, hey, let's be friends.
All right, have you ever had any support for what you're saying? In other words, have you ever talked to somebody and had them admit they're from Zeta Reticuli or some such, or, you know, in some way verified that what you're thinking you're seeing is really what you're seeing?
There was, not exactly.
You weren't ready for that one, were you?
Well, no, like you're saying, did I ever, I'm thinking you're asking me, did I ever confront somebody on it?
Well, no, I'm not asking that. I'm asking, have you ever had any verification that what you're seeing really is what you're saying? Say you're seeing aliens.
I can't say that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for the call. See, anybody who is prepared to come on the air here and say, I see aliens, Art, has got to be prepared to say how they know they see aliens, how they know they're aliens. You would not have developed a talent like this over many, many years after a physical accident. I mean, whiplash does not transfer your vision to... Anyway, why waste time? You're on the air. Hello. Hello?
Thomas in Georgia.
Hey, Thomas.
Hey, bud. I'm actually a first-time caller, but I didn't know the number, so I called this number here.
Well, I'm going to have to cut you off then. I'm kidding.
Oh, wow,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Good.
I'm kidding, Thomas.
Alrighty.
Go ahead.
All right, well, I've just actually started listening to you thanks to my brother, and I'm a member now and everything, been enjoying the archives. But I got a quick pre-incognation story for you, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
All right, well, this happens every once in a while, but this time is the strongest. It was probably about 5 or 6 years ago. I just woke up, and, you know, every time you wake up and you have a simple dream, you know, you're sitting there running through the dream in your mind. Well, it was just a simple dream, you know, and I didn't think nothing of it. I get up, I put on my clothes, I'm headed to the convenience store just to buy some, you know, small things or whatever. As soon as I take a right down the road, I start noticing that the dream is beginning to play out. By the time that I'm about to take a right in the gas station, I knew 100% because it is literally doing the exact thing that I just dreamed about. And when I pull in, I look over to my left, and I remember seeing a white truck there in my dream. There's a white truck, and a guy gets out and walks to me, and I already knew what he was going to ask me. He was going to try to sell me some drugs.
Wow.
And I rolled down the window and say, no, thank you, man. And he said, how the heck do you know what I'm about to ask you? I said, I ain't interested. And it's just boggled my mind ever since that's happened.
Wow. Has it only happened once, or is it recurring?
Only to that extent. I have just tiny small things, like I have deja vu all the damn time. Excuse my language, but all
That's
the
all right.
time.
Deja vu, though, is, you know, kind of a normal sensation. A precognitive, exact precognitive dream is something else altogether. That's pretty cool.
And I'll have small things happen during the day, like I'll see an object sitting somewhere, and then I'll really real quick it hit me. I saw that in my dream.
Right.
Small stuff like that.
No, got it. Good stuff, actually, and off a regular line at that. Not even the special powers line. Precognitive dreams are pretty neat if you can have them again and again. Or would it be neat? You know, most of these things that we say would be cool might not be cool in real life, kind of like the guy with the enhanced hearing. It would be good, but it would also be a horrible burden. Let's go to Skype, and Mikhail, is that correct? Hello on Skype. Mikhail? Michael?
Hello.
Hello. Boy, I'll tell you, I almost left the line waiting for you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think it was the mute button.
I see. Don't have the mute button on when you call me.
Right. Sorry.
It's all right.
So I think that the megastructure thing is kind of obvious.
Okay.
And you even alluded to it when you had the caller with the technological singularity.
Yes.
That part one of my theory is that whoever built the mega structures is extremely advanced, far beyond where we are.
I would say.
And even where we are, we can see now, as we are advancing in our abilities to increase technologically, that it's not too far-flung to believe that it's possible that the computers will eventually become self-aware.
I so agree with you, sir.
And that's about the time, perhaps, that we begin to connect with computers, or computers become part of us, or we become part of them.
Yeah, I wonder how that'll happen. I mean, do you think this is something that people will volunteer for because they can have such a good experience?
Well, I don't think that it's going to be that kind of a choice. The fact is that these things kind of creep up on us. But when the telephone was invented, all kinds of theorists said that we were going to lose touch with each other socially, and that was a big danger. And now it's happening. Everyone's saying that about social
media, but it's true, sir. It is happening. I mean, look at even me. I'm on my phone all the time.
Well, and that's true. And so all of a sudden, the phone and you are almost becoming interdependent, aren't you?
Yes, that's right.
So that my point is as we project in our culture forward into the future, we can see how we will become more involved technologically, and the computers, in fact, will become as evolving along with us. Whatever the end point is, there's one thing that will become absolutely critical to an advanced society, and that is energy.
All right, well, here's what I'll say, and anybody can come along and add to this or subtract from it if you want. And the wrongness of what I'm about to say. Oh, gee. I have an attachment to my phone. I don't want to say I love. Well, I do kind of love my phone. It's not that kind of love, but it is. It's more than just like. I wonder how many of you would admit that. I use it for everything, virtually everything. So, love is a pretty strong word, but it's pretty close. It gives me almost everything. You can hear my wife over there screaming. No, not that, but I have a very strong attachment to my phone. How many people would admit that, do you think? Let's go to our first-time caller line. You are on the air. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Extinguish your device, please.
What's that?
Turn off whatever you're listening to.
Ah, there we go. Sorry.
That's quite all right. Where are you?
Somewhere in Illinois.
Somewhere in Illinois. All right. Well, it's good to have you.
I don't know where. We're just kind of randomly driving.
Oh, you're driving?
Yeah. Well, my husband's driving.
Okay. And you're listening to what? Your phone?
No, the radio in the car. I know that seems ancient nowadays.
No, that's right. You're listening to the radio. What radio station, do you know?
It says 92.9 Bloomington.
92.9 Bloomington. See, people are not giving their affiliates plugs, so you just gave them one.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know who they are, but we're just I've never heard your show before.
Well, they're a good radio station because they're carrying this show.
Right, apparently. Very entertaining.
So are you. So what's up?
So I do have a superpower. I have, probably 10 of them I could choose from.
Well, give me your most impressive. Let's begin there.
Well, I'll go with, because the guy ahead of me, you said the whole weird dream thing.
Yeah.
That happens to me.
Really?
All the time. Yes.
In other words, you have frequent predictive dreams. Oh, wow.
And both of my daughters do as well.
Have you yet used this ability to profit or benefit in some way?
No. I don't know that would be possible. I don't think I would want that.
Well, I mean, what if you had a dream that if you did something, you were going to lose a lot of money? Probably you'd wake up from that dream and then wouldn't do what was in the dream, right?
Well, I probably wouldn't realize it until I'm in the middle of making the bad decision.
And then you'd go ahead and make it anyway?
Well, I'd try really hard not to make that decision.
Yeah, I understand. Well, listen, any other ones I should be aware of?
I can recall every word of every conversation I've ever participated in.
Now, that's got to be a little painful.
It really is. I'll have Alzheimer's one day because I won't have any more memory space left.
Yeah, like Kelly in the old Married with Children, where one more bit of information in this side of the brain and then something falls out on the other.
Oh, yeah, that's hysterical. Yep, that's my brain. It is. It's bad. I can recall conversations from texts with my husband from 5 or 6 years ago, and he looks at me and goes, I don't even remember that happening. Kind of weird.
Pretty cool. Well, listen, cruise carefully in Bloomington.
Have a great night.
All right, you too. First-time caller. Yeah, if you're listening to a radio station, I've been meaning to say this for a while now, please give them a plug. We've got a lot of affiliates coming online shortly. Big cities. Should I name drop a little? Well, like Phoenix, like L.A. I really shouldn't say more, but it's going pretty crazy. This is really fun, really fun. Hello there, outside the country somewhere. Artie, you're on the air.
Good morning,
Good morning, Artie.
Welcome to Clydebank in Scotland.
In Scotland, all right.
Yeah, it's brilliant to speak to you, sir. I've been listening to you for a long, long time, and I'm listening on the internet at just about 6 o'clock in the morning here.
Yeah, probably sitting there with coffee or tea or something, right?
Well, something like that.
So the Scottish begin the day with something a little stronger.
Begin the day. This is us just ending one day.
You don't have any superpowers, do you?
Superpowers?
Yes, superpowers.
Well, no, nothing out the ordinary. You know what I mean? I can hold a drink and I can hold a smoke. Is that a superpower?
Well, it depends on how you look at it, I guess. I love your accent.
Well, you must have Scottish relatives yourself. Do you know it?
I think there is a little bit of Scottish in me. I'm mostly English-Irish, but a bit of Scottish.
Really? Because one of our major whiskey brands is called Arthur Bell.
Really?
Really? One of the major sellers over here is the Bell Company they've made whiskey for centuries.
Your accent is actually so strong it's hard to understand you.
That bad, is it?
Well, no, that's not bad. It's just what you are, and I'm not great with some of what you're saying.
You've lived all over the world. You lived in the Philippines.
I have, yes.
Yep. You've lived out in the Far East.
Yes, but trust me, Asian accents are nothing like Scottish accents. Not even close.
Really? So you've not come across many Scotch people then?
Not that many, but I'm glad to know you're out there. I don't think we've ever heard from you before, have we?
Never, no.
Never.
We've never spoken, sir. But like I say, I've listened to you. I love radio, and I love listening to you.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for the call. I really do. All the way from Scotland. That is so cool. I love the fact that we can just go around the world, even if some of the accents are indiscernible to me. We've done it again. I'm sorry. Skype has stopped working, it says. A problem caused the program to stop working correctly. Windows will close the program and notify you if a solution is available. Well, what's happened is we're going to go ahead and close the program. I'm very sorry, those of you who were waiting. It'll work. I can reopen the program. What happens is that I don't think that Skype was made for talk show people. In other words, when you get 40 or 50 people calling in at one time, it just sort of goes, okay, I give up. It's done this on virtually every open line show that I've done at some point or another. It just throws up its Skype hands and says, this is not possible. Closing. And that's that. All right. Hello there. You are on the air from, I believe, Virginia.
Yes, that's right. My name is Plasmon Blairtown, and I've called you before. I'm actually a libertarian.
Libertarian?
A libertarian. It's not a political thing. It's sort of a combination of smaller government and bigger universe.
Huh.
Anyway,
I like it. Actually,
I thought you would. I mean, I normally listen on WTWW shortwave, but tonight, since I'm in the Pleiades star cluster, I'm using the Arecibo uplink and using the ALMA array of telescopes in the Atacama High Desert in Chile as the downlink.
Wow. Okay.
And I think that I had a hand in making ALMA happen. It uses a photonic, a local oscillator. It uses two lasers that have a difference frequency, and it can actually receive in the sub-millimeter band all the way up to 950 gigahertz, 0.95 terahertz.
Right.
And I think that's the radio telescope that may be able to resolve the composition of what these gigantic things around that star are made of, because you can look at atomic structure and molecular structure.
Well, we've got a satellite that can look, but it's out of order at the moment.
Yeah, the Kepler has lost its reaction control system, so that it can't actually hold station keeping on the stars very well.
Well, my comment would be that it's a little disappointing. I mean, Kepler sees this amazing alien megastructure thing and then goes out of order. So we're all left here going, oh, come on, now what?
Well, we've got the Very Large Array in the plains of St. Augustine in New Mexico, and we've got this ALMA thing up in the Chilean desert, and they're very high resolution at those kind of sizes. And plus, we have all kinds of optical telescopes, some of which have...
well, yeah, but, sir, this thing is 1,500 light years away. We've got to be out in space to look at it properly.
Well, that's the trick, because the atmosphere will vary the intensity. You really need an outer space telescope. Maybe they can designate some Hubble Space Telescope time. It's got photometers on board that are pretty accurate, and while it's still got any life left in it, we should probably be trying to do that.
What do you think? What do you think about a civilization that could do what they're suggesting this one has done all that way away? I mean, should we ever be in contact with them or not?
I think we would want to observe very carefully what was going on, as you said, 1,500 years ago. There may be some remote viewers who could come in and take a closer look and not have to be limited by the speed of light.
Aren't you a little bit concerned that they would be so far ahead of us that, I don't know, they would step on us like an anthill?
Right, that's a possibility if there's hostility. Of course, hopefully if they're so far ahead of us, they've also given up on the idea of war as being a waste of time.
Well, we don't have enough experience. I'm sorry, but we don't have enough experience yet with what happens to a warlike people. We are warlike people, and we have not yet mended our ways. In fact, we've got ourselves in so many wars that we can't even afford it.
Ronald Reagan said that if we had a perceived threat from external sources like this sort of civilization, it might make us rethink our warlike ways here.
Well, I think, well, he may have meant that, or he may have meant that planet Earth would come together. The Russians and the Americans, like dogs and cats, would get together and go, kumbaya, we must build bigger bombs to deal with this big threat, right? So there's two ways of thinking about this. It may be that warlike people eventually evolve into really warlike people, so that instead of simply taking over another country or nation building yet another nation, we planet build. We sterilize what's there now, and we reseed it. Now, if that's the way it goes, we're cooked. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just thinking of the half glass of water, right? It could go either way. Everybody assumes that as we evolve socially, we will become nice people. We will stop our warlike ways. We will hold hands. All will be well. Kisses and hugs all around, right? But it also could be true that we're going to go the other way. And what is now a warlike nation will become a warlike world, a warlike people. End of speech. Hope that's not true. Hi there. You're on the air. Skype.
Hi, Arbel. How are you today?
Pretty good.
I'm calling about the radio the broadcast that you had on the air the other night.
Ah, yes.
Okay. I was listening via WebSDR last night because it intrigued me. And I was listening on 8,992 kilohertz.
Okay.
Which is also Air Force for the SAC.
Yes.
And at one point I heard what sounded like Arabic and French language.
Boy, Arabic would be the last thing that I would expect to hear on a SAC frequency.
Yes, and I'm wondering maybe if that was Turkish.
I would have no way of knowing.
I would have no way of knowing either, but with this down drone, I wonder if there's any kind of connection.
It's a good question.
And there was also a lot of chatter on there last night.
Oh, yeah, but why would it be Turkish chatter?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Well, that's interesting. Keep listening. If you hear anything particularly interesting, record it and send it to me.
I most certainly will.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right. Take care. So what we'll do is there are many of you who monitor out there. I know thousands of you who, as a kind of a hobby, monitor. And if you hear anything really cool, by all means, call me. Hello there on the phone. You're on the air.
Hello, Art.
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
You.
Yeah, I am. Sorry, you kind of caught me off guard. I had a quick question, since you're always talking about like the radio stations and all that, how you're an affiliate.
Sure.
With the radio and being on the internet, how do you track ratings and stuff like that?
It is an interesting question. There are many ways to track. And one of them, of course, is raw numbers that you get from a server, or the master servers that send the program out. That's one way. With radio, they have a new system now that is run by Nielsen. Used to be Arbitron, but Nielsen has now taken over. So you have to get those figures. And then, of course, you've got a lot of people these days, sir, that don't listen live. They want it when they want it. And that means usually the next day. So you have this massive number of people who want to become what we call time travelers. And, they pay like $8 a month, $7.99, I believe, and they can listen to the show any old time they want. So you're asking a complicated question.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Yeah.
So what are your numbers?
I really don't know at any given moment. They're pretty big, though. Again, we have so many affiliates now. We have so many people listening online and so many people listening the next day or 2 days later. I can't give you numbers. And even if I could, I wouldn't.
Okay. I was just curious. That's been bugging me for a while. So.
Okay, 1.87 million.
Wow.
Big number, huh?
Yeah, especially what's it been, like a couple months?
Yeah, well, I made it up. The truth is I have absolutely no idea. A lot of people, sir. A lot of people. Absolutely love that. Hey, everybody. It's the weekend. It's Friday night, Saturday morning. Don't forget our 2-drink minimum. God, I didn't mention that at the beginning of the show. We have a special line for anybody who claims to have superpowers. Now, what do I mean by superpowers? Well, it should be self-explanatory. If you can do something that other human beings simply would regard as amazing, then you have a superpower, right? And you would want to call area code 575-208-7787. Once again, area code area code 575, my apologies, 208-7787. If you're a first-time caller, have never called the show, it's area code 775-285-5800. And, of course, we're available on Skype. North America is MITD51. The rest of the world is MITD55. Going to my superpower line, you are on the air. Hello.
Hi, Rod. My name is Chuck. I'm from Rochester, New York, and I listen on TuneIn. And I've been to Buffalo, too. You're right. It's snowy.
Oh, yeah. Very snowy.
My superpower is that I get to get parking spaces open for me. No matter where I go, I get the closest non-handicapped spot to the door that I'm going. They just open up for me. People that drive with me don't believe it, and they see it happen over and over again. All right. Here's
the question for you then. Do you think that you, in other words, you know where you're going, right?
Right.
So prior to getting there, you may be pushing somebody who has one of those close parking spots into leaving early by some really devious method.
Close, sir. Very close. What I do is I use the law of attraction to get somebody to leave, and I developed after I read The Secret by Rhonda Byrne.
Yes.
And one really interesting thing is if I don't have complete faith and confidence that it works, like say I pull in and I say, oh, there's a spot that's close enough, and then I'll walk past and there's the spot that I should have had. It takes me about a month to get it back. It's because like I don't have faith that it's going to work. So it takes a while to develop it. And that once I get it going, as long as I have confidence and faith, it's like if I'm driving and I have a family member, I'll say, watch this, and I'll just like shake my hand, and then a couple rows down, there it is.
Wow!
But it's amazing. It always works.
Well, I would say that thank you is an extremely handy power, and one that I wish I had myself. I'm going to work on that, but. In order for that to work, he said he uses the law of attraction. I would think it would be something else. I mean, produce a sudden tummy ache in somebody who's parked in, well, the spot you want, and start concentrating on that ahead of time. But he's kinder. He's hit the law of attraction. So he simply attracts them back to their car, I guess.